of the statement and that you signed this statement in his presence?
Akushoyo lana-ke kulokhu esiqeda ukukutshela kona noma ukufundela kona baba uZungu ukuthi-ke uBrigadier Gininda uthi wakuvuma-ke lokho akubhaliwe lana kusona istatimende wase uyasayina.
Abana le ndawo sure noma ngangikabi-ke la ngoshwe kodwa leyo ndawo nje angiyazi kwayo le ndawo.
Even the mentioned place, irrespective of my, although I was under, or irrespective of the condition, my conditions at that time, but the place that is mentioned here, I don't know. I also don't know the statement.
You have said that that signature that is appearing there on the last page of the statement is also not yours. Or let me put it this way, what did you say about that signature?
Ukhona ukushilo yakhumbula baba ubuza ngalokusayina lokho. Ukhona ukushilo ukuthini ngalokusayina lokho.
Ngithe ngasona lesakusilo ubhaliwe yilobhaliwe statement sami. Injalo signature yami.
What I said is that this is not my signature.
Thank you.
Yay, tada. We are back with another video. The page, it is South African Late News. There was Absalom Zungu denying that he ever signed the so-called affidavit or statement by Brigadier Gininda. This shows that Brigadier Gininda broke the law. He allegedly forged the signature of Absalom Zungu, which is why the men that are before court, I believe, they are innocent. That is my first point. But we just go back on what happened in the previous 2 days. But the most important thing is that Absalom Zungu denies that he signed any statement. Clearly. On Thursday, there was not much that happened because the evidence of the men that the police claim helped them to crack the Muir case because Absalom Zungu was ngoba accused number 5, Ufisi Uhlontule, he again refused to go to court, and then he was forced because he said the police tortured him and then refused to let him phone his lawyer, of which is a highly irregular thing. As an inmate who is still on trial, he is allowed to have at least consult with his lawyer, Advocate Mshololo. But where he is kept, they refused. And thereafter, they refused to give him any medical attention. And then Ntuli arrived late in court and he was dressed in prison clothing, claiming that he was assaulted by officials from the prison and then barred from calling his own lawyer. The state then proposed that the case must continue in the absence of Ntuli. But the defense pushed for a postponement because it is unlawful that a case can continue if one of the accused is not present. So now, if you are not at court, how can you defend yourself? That case will be invalid. So I think Rata, he's smart there because sanity prevailed when he said, okay, Mnisi, Umalo, let's postpone to Friday. So I think Rata made a good decision there because if they had continued, I think that proceedings would then be illegal. And then Absalom Zungu, the senior, the father of the state witness, Constable Zungu, he continued to testify on Friday, and then he denied ever making the statement, of which the police are trying to link accused number 1 and 2 into the mayor's case. He denied what he ever signed that statement. So on Friday, the case resumed and it became clear that the prison officials also defied the court order that was issued by Rata. Because on a previous day, Rata had said that Fiso Ntuli must be sent to be checked up by a doctor, but that was not done. But I'm not surprised because the state police, they abuse prisoners because they know that nothing will ever be done to them. That is the way the police operates, but asikho galapho. And then Absalom Zungu took the stand on Friday, and the main thing that came out for me is that he said, if I die, it would be because of his son, Constable Zungu, and the Senzo Meiwa, leak investigator Brigadier Geninda. So if ever maphoyisa awazi ukuthi ubani oyobe responsible, he blamed his son and Brigadier Geninda. Those were strong words being said by an old man. Clearly, Absalom Zungu is worried about his life, because you cannot just say that his own son, Constable Zungu, doesn't give a damn about him. What kind of a son is that? Constable Zungu. He allows Brigadier Geninda to persecute his own father for what? Job promotion. Sisman, Constable Zungu. And then Absalom Zungu continued to deny that he made that statement which implicated accused number 1 and 2, of which is Musabia and Bogandans. Absalom Zungu was shown the statement that Geninda said he signed, but Absalom Zungu insisted that this is not my signature. What is written there is just his name, Absalom, which is not a signature. A person that signs, they do not normally write their name. They just scratch something that is difficult to imitate. But in that statement by Geninda, a name which just says Absalom was written. That's not a signature. Anyone can see that. Anyone can see that. So I believe Absalom Zungu, when he says his signature was forged by Brigadier Geninda. I have no doubt about that. The old man seems genuine. The old man has got no reason to lie. But that's just my point. And then on Friday, Absalom Zungu told the court that if he's killed, it will be known that Brigadier Geninda and his son are involved. That is very important. I repeat it because it's very important. And then said, Absalom Zungu also said that his son testified in court, and then he called him saying that he was with Geninda and he requested to meet with him on the farm in Utrecht, and he should come alone and not tell anybody. But Absalom Zungu refused. Why did they want Absalom Zungu to come to a farm alone? Why did they want Absalom Zungu to come at the farm instead of a police station? Clearly, the police and Constable Zungu, they were trying to intimidate and bully Absalom Zungu. This is how Geninda and his friends operate. It's clear. They wanted to come alone in a secluded area like a farm so that they can take advantage of this old man. Clearly, they wanted to intimidate him. That is my view. And if anyone disputes it, it's fine. But it's my view. I believe that they wanted to scare him so that he can sign that fake statement. And then Absalom Zungu admitted that the meeting with Geninda, it happened, but he denied that he made a statement. He said when Geninda phoned him, he wanted him to meet, but he told him that let us meet at the Newcastle police station because he no longer trusted Brigadier Geninda. And then Absalom Zungu instead, that the statement that implicated Ntanzi and Sibiya was not made by him. He said Geninda requested him to come and testify because he will protect him and he will give him money and then he will help him to move to another country. But Absalom Zungu refused to be bought because he's not corrupt. Remember that Bogandans also said Geninda promised him, I think it was about 3 million or 2 million, if he testified and implicated all the other accused. So there's a trend of Brigadier Geninda here trying to offer money in return for testimony. So there's a trend. Geninda operates ngayo. And remember also that in the case of Uroda van Krecher, Geninda was accused of the same thing. He offered one witness money so that he can testify against Uroda van Krecher. So you can see with Geninda, he does not do things in a proper manner. He does things so that he can get evidence that will help him to win his case. That's all he cares about. It's all about winning cases. So according to Zungu, Geninda had in fact tried to coerce him to testify in the Mayor case in return of those things that I spoke about. But he refused. But then intimidation and harassment followed. And that intimidation came from Brigadier Geninda allegedly. Loksho Ubani, Absalom Zungu. So Zungu is basically saying that Gininda tried to pressure him to give false evidence in court so that they can solve the Senzo Mayowa case. So you can clearly see that the Senzo Mayowa case is cooked. It is based on fake evidence and tainted evidence. Remember that Ulo Umapira cleaned the crime scene after Senzo was shot. So at that point, that is where the crime scene was contaminated. Everything that followed, it was just fake and lies. Why? Because it was all about protecting the connected and the powerful. I'll say it straight, it was all about protecting Ulongo Twala because he comes from a powerful family. Zungu said the attempts to bribe him to testify were also made, and he still refused because he knew nothing about the death of Senzo Mayowa. Remember that Musbi and Danzi were also offered money to confess. So the state likes to throw around cash just that they can get evidence. You would think that police are Standard Bank where getting money it's simpler, easier and faster. But indlela abenza ngayo le, of which is highly irregular. So then Umnisi concluded his cross-examination of Ulo Mzungu. So what's going to follow from Monday is that the rest of the lawyers will also get a chance to ask questions to Absalom Mzungu. But I'm pretty sure that when it comes to Baloyi, he's going to keep Absalom Mzungu on the stand for more than 2 days. And then he'll ask the same question 10 times, just like he did when it was the turn of Mosibiya. Why is Baloyi doing that? Well, he's doing that because he has no case. He tries to keep a witness on the stand for so long so that he may get some concessions and contradictions. But he failed to get that with Mosibiya. So I'm hoping that Absalom Mzungu will stand his ground and show Gininda that he is not scared of him. He must show Baloyi that he's not scared of him. Both of them, because they are highly involved in the cooking of the Senzo Mayowa case. But the evidence of Constable Zungu was totally discredited because Absalom Zungu told the court that his son only agreed to testify in court because the police had promised him a promotion in the SAPS. That is a statement which is now part of the record in court. uZungu Junior wanika ubufakazi enkantolo ngoba wayethenjiswe ipromotion emsebenzini. Le nto isho bani? Baba uAbsalom Zungu. So the evidence of Constable Zungu for me is now tainted because of that. Constable Zungu had ulterior motive. So now the same with Brigadier Gininda. His evidence and his investigation is also tainted now because Absalom Zungu tells us that Gininda offered him money and a trip overseas in order to implicate accused number 1 and 2. So the evidence of Brigadier Gininda for me as well, it lacks credibility now. What needs to follow is that Brigadier Gininda must be investigated for falsifying a statement because that is a criminal offense. While he is being investigated, he should then be suspended from the police service so that he cannot continue doing the same in other cases. But that would happen if in South Africa was a country of laws. And you know for a fact that the police now, they are the law on themselves. They do whatever they want because our leadership in this country is weak. They allow police to abuse the likes of Ntanzi, Mosibiya, and Absalom Zungu because that is how they get evidence if they want to protect the likes of Longo Twala and the other powerful families in this country. And also remember that Baloyi, he never called Ulo Gwabini to testify in court. If Gwabini was called, then he was going to be able to confirm or deny the evidence ka Constable Zungu. But Gwabini was never called. So you think if Gwabini was never called in such, clearly Baloyi yabona ukuthi Gwabini was going to contradict or deny everything that was said by Constable Zungu. So Kwabini, for me, should have been a star witness in this case, because everything that is alleged occurred in his house, occurred in his hostel. But what can we say? So Ubaloyi, he did a very wrong thing by not calling Kwabini. Instead, he says Kwabini is scared to testify because he might get killed. By who? If Kwabini was scared to testify, then the police should have offered him what we call a witness protection, the same protection that was afforded to Constable Zungu. That is very simple and straightforward, but Baloyi and the police never did that because Kwabini was going to contradict Constable Zungu and expose him. And you see how the AVL Constable Zungu for the day of the 26th of October 2014 was never provided in court. Why? Because the AVL would show Constable Zungu was never at that hostel. Remember that Constable Zungu, on the day when Senzo was shot, he was driving around a police car, and we all know that police cars are fitted with an AVL. That is the evidence that was given in the Malanga Commission of Inquiry ukuthi ama-AVL afaka zonke imoto. So Ukininda and Baloyi are misleading the people ukuthi some cars are not fitted. They only brought some AVL that did not implicate the witnesses of Baloyi and Kininda. That's it. But the AVL of Constable Zungu, no. Siyazi ngobani. But asikho-ke lapha. So Kwabini was not called to court to debunk or confirm the evidence of Constable Zungu. So now, what is there for us left to believe? Clearly, the state has something to hide because they know that their case is weak. They know that the state case is based on those two confessions, which are highly questionable. That is a fact because now both Bongani Ntanzi and Musibiya deny ukuthi they confessed. Remember that Musibiya, who was accused number 1, on the day that he allegedly signed the confession, he was driven around the whole day and then only signed that fake confession in the following early hours of the morning. So what was happening during the day when they were driving around with him? What was happening? Clearly for me, they were busy abusing Musibiya so he can confess. That is only logic that I can come up with. They were busy torturing Musi so they can confess. The same when it comes to Bongani Ntanzi's confession. Remember that Ntanzi had to do a second confession. What was the need of the second confession if he had confessed already? Clearly, it's simple. The second confession was made before the magistrate Cronje because in the first confession, they forgot to add some lies that will include all 5 men. So they did the second confession to add more lies so that they can have a watertight case, a strong case. If Ntanzi testified for the first time, that confession should have been enough because you only tell the truth once if it's the truth. So they realized, no. The confession Ntanzi, no, it's weak. Asithole enye in front of a judge and make up more lies so that we can have a strong case. So that's the only reason why Ntanzi was made to sign a second fake confession. And some of you all still don't see which the state is cooking this case. I angazi ke manje. And then we can also go to the crime scene. In the crime scene, remember that after Senzo was shot, the crime scene was left unattended. The people in that house came and touched things, exhibits, and then we know all about Mapiri, who came and cleaned the crime scene. But the same Mapiri was never charged. So why is Baloyi not charging Mapiri? Indaba la charge Mapiri. Uzobona ukuthi Mapiri might talk and say no. Longotwala told me to clean the crime scene. That will be in line with the theory that is contained in the statement of Mlungihlope. If Mapiri confesses and say, Longotwala told me to clean the crime scene, then the state case will be over, because now the statement of Mlungihlope that was read by Ngomezulu says, Tumelo Madlala phoned Mlungihlope after Senzo was shot and told him that Longotwala has shot Senzo Mayiwa ngephutha. He said Zandi and Longotwala were fighting about something, but then Senzo tried to separate them. Unfortunately, Longotwala was carrying a gun, and the gun went off, and then Senzo ultimately lost his life. That is the statement that is in the docket. Now, it was deposed by Mlungihlope. Hlope is the brother-in-law of Senzo Mayiwa. So Hlope had no reason to lie. So I believe that call actually happened. So Utumela Madlala, I think he's the biggest traitor with this case. Why I'm saying that, he's the friend of Senzo Mayiwa. So now, why is he not telling the truth now? Why? And the answer is simple. The people that were in the house after Senzo was shot, they had a meeting. In that meeting, where there was Shadrack Sibiya and the former police MEC in Gauteng at that time. In that meeting, it is alleged that is where the theory of an intruder was authorized and approved. And thereafter, we were told that cash of money was allegedly given to some witnesses so that they can stay silent on the truth. So I suspect Utumela Madlala was being influenced by those people as well as the brown envelope. That is why now he's lying about the real shooter of Senzo Mayiwa. They are now all saying there was an intruder. One intruder came in, and then the second intruder came in and demanded cell phone and money. But then in the theory, it is shocking for me. Okay, the intruders came into the house and shot one person and once. And we want us to believe ukuthi umsebenzi wenkabi loyo amanga now. When an inkabi comes to a house, they shoot and eliminate everyone so that there are no witnesses left. But in the Mayiwa case, Inkabi only shot one person. There were no Nkabis at that house when Senzo was shot. Senzo was shot by mistake. And another odd thing is that we were told that when those Nkabis came into the house, Longotwala ran out to the house, but the Nkabis just allowed him to run. They never chased him. They never shot him. What kind of Nkabi would let a witness run away? So yabona amanga wonke lawa sure Longotwala no Kelly Khumalo. So ke sizobona ukuthi icala liqhubeka kanjani, because now umnisi useqedile no Absalom Zungu. So now YouTuber la mmeli ka accused number 2, of which is Ramosepile. And then after Ramosepile, it's going to be Nxumalo and then Mshololo. And thereafter ke uBaloyi uzoqhamuka ekugcineni ezovala. But it's going to be an interesting case, because Absalom Zungu seems dead sure ukuthi he never signed that statement. So I'm hoping that Babu Zungu is fine where he is. Will continue to be in court and so on. We need to get this case done, because now the Mayiwa family has been waiting for so long. Once this case is done, I'm sure Ratha will find them guilty, because you can see the way he acts in court and so on. But that's not the end. The five men accused can go to the Supreme Court of Appeal, where they can appeal Ratha's decision, and that is where they'll get justice. I'm sure that the judgment of Ratha will then be struck off the roll, because it is a wrong judgment, and then the 5 men before court will then be told, no, you are not guilty. It was a mistake by Judge Ratha. Thereafter, we can move up to docket 375. That is where the justice of these men or the family of the Mayiwa will be found. Docket 375, that is where we know which abantu abasendlini they lied about the shooting of Mayiwa. That's what I want now. This case come to an end, and then we move to a correct docket. But for this week, Absalom Zungu will testify and then finishes cross-examination. I am not sure who's going to come after him, but I hope that Warrant Officer Makubo will follow, because he is the one that opened docket 25. Makubo will be able to expose Uprakatia Keninda and Nabo Mohane, because he knows more about this case than anyone else. He knows more than us, more than the so-called prosecutor Baloyi. He knows more than the so-called judge Rata. So I hope Makubo would follow Absalom Zungu, and thereafter more witnesses will come and tell their story. But anyway, thank you for watching.